Started from a DM, now she wanna see him. If you wanna link, baby, gotta be the weekend. Just follow me.
Okay, real quick. So we're just gonna talk about how some places have changed their reaction to COVID. So we're gonna start with Georgia, who have completely reopened their state. And the first thing that happened was in Atlanta, a bunch of people went and lined up to buy Jordans. So, when Georgia dies, it's probably gonna be the reason. Florida made it so that venues and events could have fans again. They started with wrestling, saying that they can have fans, but they can only have 25% of their venues filled at any point. The NBA is taking that, and the belief is that eventually, depending on the state, the NBA may start running games again, either with no fans or very few fans allowed to be in attendance. Now, whether they're going to finish out the season is still yet unknown. It's come out that LeBron James says that they need to finish the season and nobody should be cutting the season short. But he needs to shut up. We just wanted to get this season finished. We need to see how it's going to end out so we can have a regular season next year. Honestly, if we finish out the season and the playoffs, unless they go with a really short off season, then the league is going to start back up late next year. And the NBA could decide to go with a short off season. It would mean everybody is in more in-game shape, but it would also mean people have less time to rest their bodies. So, positive and negatives there. NFL has still not announced whether they have any precautions placed for the eventuality. I guess they believe or they're hoping that it'll all blow over by the time their season starts up. MLB has said nothing about the fact that their season has been stagnated as is. NHL hasn't come out and said anything either. But the Illinois governor came out with a 5-point plan for reopening Illinois. And his entire plan is what we've been doing. It's wait and see, but he wanted to make it sound fancy, I guess. Basically, his idea of the plan is step one. Step one is what we're on now. People are not allowed to really leave their homes. Well, step one is what we've been dealing with. People haven't been allowed to leave their houses. They were required to stay home. Only essential businesses were open. What was considered essential was kind of up in the air. But eventually they clarified that. Apparently we are considered to be in stage 2, which is to state that the amount of people who are getting sick is slowing down and it's starting to flatten, as they're saying it. That also meant that some non-essential businesses may be allowed to open. People have to wear masks in public. And I'm not taking part of that. If I'm not going to certain places, I'm not putting the mask on. It's just what it is. Stage 3, this is their hope for some time over the summer. It will flatten out. In other words, we'll have less sick people or it will be on a decline. And more businesses and outdoor facilities will be open and allowed to have people have functions and things like that. Meetings of, I believe they said groups of 50 people or more or something like that would be okay. And stages 4 and 5 are just what you would expect coming from stage 3. More stuff open. Stage 4, I believe it's like, in fact, it's stage 2 is 10 people, stage 3 groups of 20 people, and stage 4 was groups of 50, and stage 5 is like we're back to normal with new protocols in place. But stage 5, based on what he said, is completely based on if we get a vaccine or some treatment method in place. In other words, there's a possibility we won't technically hit stage 5 till next year. So Illinois might not open fully. He only announced this because our governor has been sued twice now over his stay-at-home order, as well as, I believe it's one judge for sure, but there might be 2 judges who just blocked his stay-at-home order from their counties. So people are kind of just done with it. And then you have Lori Lightfoot, the mayor of Chicago, who was cursed out by kids for telling them to go home on the 5-degree day we just had. They called her bald headed. And that, while disrespectful, was quite funny because a lot of people, parents are thinking the same thing. Like, she doesn't seem to have control. Nobody wants to deal with it. You keep telling us that next month we'll be free to live life again, and then a week out you'll be like, yeah, we're going to extend it another month. Nobody wants to keep dealing with that. So like I always say, I feel like people are, one, overreacting to an extent, and some people don't take it serious enough. You got to take it serious enough to understand there are people getting sick from it, and them getting sick from it is leading to some people dying. But you also have to understand COVID itself is not killing people. It is exasperating already existing sicknesses that people have, and those sicknesses are actually what's killing people. So, take care of yourself. Stay healthy. If you have a compromised immune system, try to stay in the house as much as possible. But trying to force everyone to stay in the house is not a plan that is going to end well. Not in major cities like Chicago. People are not going to listen. Eventually, you just either going to have to lift the order, or the people will lift it themselves. And there won't be much you can do about it. But I'm out of here. Remember to like, subscribe, share, and help me build my empire.
Started from a DM, now she wanna see him. If you wanna link, baby, gotta be the weekend. Just follow me.